Oh my. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Karma. I am getting another late day start. It's been hard to wake up in the morning. This is what happens. No rest for the weary, right? So today I'm going to talk about 5 techniques to keeping your readers hooked. Yesterday, I talked about how you structure a book so that readers keep turning the page. And today, I'm going to be giving you some additional tips that layered onto a really strong structure can help keep your readers hooked and turning from page to page. My name is Carma Spence, and I help entrepreneurs write a lead attracting book in 90 days or less. So, tip number one is start with a bang. Now would be the time for the balloons, but I don't have that turned on. So when you begin each chapter with something that's engaging and compelling and possibly includes a little bit of a curiosity factor, that keeps them reading into the chapter. So you might ask a question or you might state a surprising fact and then go into it. It's something that is unexpected. I mean, but they need to recognize like, "Huh, that I bet that's true, but I wonder how, or I wonder wonder why, or I wonder what this author is gonna be saying about that." Number 2, so that's the start of your chapters. At the end of your chapters, you wanna end with a cliffhanger. Now, I don't mean, okay, someone's literally hanging from a cliff at the end of every chapter. No, obviously. But what you wanna do is it's something that will transition them into the next chapter. So, it ends this chapter and leads into the next. Now, a common one that's used, it's a little boring, but it's commonly used, is like, "And now that you know X, in the next chapter, we're gonna talk about Y." That is one way to do it, and it can be effective. I find it a little boring, but it works. You could also do something else where you set up some form of cognitive dissonance that says, "Oh my gosh, this solved this mini problem, but now I've got this new problem." And then they look at the next chapter's headline, "Oh, they're going to solve that mini problem that just came up for me." That's probably a more effective way to do it. But those are 2 ideas. Tip number 3 is storytelling. Tell engaging stories. Tell stories that illustrate your points. Tell stories that engage your reader and get them involved in what you're talking about. These can be real life stories, they can be parables, they can be case studies for your client. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just you want your voice to come out and you want to tell things in a framework of a story. Tip number 4, and that is relatable examples. You want to use examples that are relevant to your target market. You want to use them so that they see themselves in your examples. Just as they see themselves in your stories, they see themselves in your examples. And tip number 5 is bring out your personal tone. Books that make a reader feel like, "Gee, I feel like this author is in the room with me," are so much easier to read than when they're dry or erudite, or you feel like the author is wearing a jacket and has a pipe in their mouth and they're introducing the next episode of Masterpiece Theater. Unless that's the way that person is, and everything they do is like that. If that's who you are, own it and express it. So those are the 5 tips. Start with a bang, end with a cliffhanger, tell stories and use relatable examples, and use your own voice, your own personal voice. And I will be talking more about that topic in a podcast episode in a few weeks. So if you would like that link, just say author voice, and I will be sure to send that to you when it drops. And if you have a favorite technique that keeps readers hooked, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Tomorrow, I will be talking about how to trim, tighten, and transform your manuscript. And this is the end of today's Coffee with Karma. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.